Welcome back for a new top 10 list in Magic Cards. This time we are checking out my top 10 of my favorite cards from the set Outlaws of Thunder Junction. We have two honorable mentions, however, this time around. So, with that said, and this will be all rarities in this. So let me know if you like me divide up in the future, do one specifically for rares and others. With that said, first of the two honorable mentions. It's an interesting one. Yeah, if you like owls, you might like. Definitely the art is one of my favorites. But costs 3 to bring out. Bird Rogue and is a 2/2, has flash and flying. As well as when enters the battlefield, exile target spell, it becomes plotted. Also, spells your opponent casts from the graveyard or from exile costs 2 more to cast. So it's a nice little card with its different abilities. The second honorable mention goes to, this time we have instead an artifact. Boombox. Costs 2 to bring out. If you pay 6, tap, sacrifice, Boombox, destroy up to 1 target artifact, up to 1 target creature, and up to 1 target land. So you can destroy one of each. That is pretty nice, I will say. Definitely in certain circumstances, unfortunately, it does cost 6 mana to when you sacrifice, but given the fact you can destroy a land, destroy also a creature, and destroy an artifact, that can do some pretty good damage to your opponent, that's for sure. Coming in first at number 10. An interesting common, which actually might be a good one for Pauper players. Spring Splasher. Costs 2 to bring out. It's a 2/1. Whenever Spring Splasher attacks, target creature defending player controls gets -3, -0 until end of turn. A nice one, especially the -3 part, do some serious damage. Honestly, it's a common that I think has real potential in Pauper of specific commons from this set. Coming in at number 9. Desert's Dew. Costs 2 to use an instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. It gets an additional -1/-1 until end of turn for each desert you control. So if you have multiple deserts in your deck, this could be very useful. And the fact that it's also a common, pretty nice. Coming in at number 8. Another common. Like I've said before, there's quite a few legit great commons in all sets. Thunder Junction, I think, has some legit really good commons. As does Dustmorn and a few others of last year. And even a couple of really good commons from Modern Horizons 3, but Desperate Bloodseeker, definitely probably my preferred vampire out of this. Is probably one of the best vampire commons of last year. Costs 2 to use, 2/2, has lifelink, which is a nice one. When Desperate Bloodseeker enters the battlefield, target player mills 2 cards. That's pretty nice. The fact that bringing out a vampire will cost your opponent 2 cards, very useful. Next up, coming in at number 7. First, multi. Costs a total of 5 to use, a bit pricey. Sorcery. Return up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Return up to 1 target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. So that's actually kind of nice, especially if you're trying to get a specific cards that maybe you lost. The fact that this allows you to get 2 cards out of the graveyard is definitely very useful. And pretty good uncommon. Coming in at number 6. One of the most interesting cards in my collection from Thunder Junction. Tiny Bones, the Pickpocket. 1 mana to bring out. Legendary creature. 1/1 has Death Touch, which is always useful. Whenever Tiny Bones, the Pickpocket, deals combat damage to a player, you may cast target non-land permanent card from that player's graveyard, and mana of any type can be spent to cast that spell. So yeah, that ability is definitely nifty and can really annoy the crap out of your opponent, that's for sure. And I can definitely see this specifically being very good in Commander. Coming in next at number 5, I feel this is a somewhat underrated legit great card. 2 to bring out. Slingshot Show Off. Pretty cool card. It's a 1/2 Bird Wizard with flying and haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Slingshot Show Off gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Also, you can spend 2 for Plot. You may pay 2 and exile this card from your hand. Cast it as a sorcery. On a later turn, without paying its mana cost, Plot only as a sorcery. Definitely a quite useful, the fact whether you bring it out or you just use that ability. Regardless, this card is very useful. Coming in at number 4. Easily one of the best commons out of the entire set, in my opinion. And it only costs 1 to use, and it's an instant. Until end of turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1, and target creature an opponent control gets -1/-1. So definitely very useful in a tight spot. And I could see being useful in specific types of popper decks. Coming in at number 3, legit super annoying for people to deal with. Easily the best dragon card in the set. And by the way, I chose only to get regular cards from this set in the top 10. I chose not to use any of the bonus sheet cards. I want to stick with strictly the main set of cards from Thunder Junction. With that said, Terror of the Peaks, which luckily I've managed to pull 3 copies of this card. Costs 5 to bring out. It's a 5/4 with flying, of course. Spells your opponent cast that target Terror of the Peaks costs an additional 3 life to cast. That's pretty sweet. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Terror of the Peaks deals damage equal to that creature's power to any target. This, it's already a decent strength creature. Costs 5, but I'd say between the abilities as well as the strength and defense of this card, make it easily one of the best rares or mythics in the set, in my opinion. Coming at number 2. In my opinion, maybe the best vampire card in the set. Costs 2 to bring out, an uncommon, Blood Hustler, 1/1. Whenever you commit a crime, put a +1/+1 counter on Blood Hustler. This ability triggers only once each turn, targeting opponents. Anything they control and or cards in their graveyard is a crime. Pay 4, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So yeah, I think between the different abilities definitely makes this good. Though it's technically not a legendary, I could see somebody maybe trying to build a Pauper Commander deck around this card. Could prove quite annoying for some people. And then coming in at number 1 for me. Favorite card out of the set. Claim Jumper. Costs 3 to bring out. It's a 3/3. Rabbit with Vigilance. When Claim Jumper enters the battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you, you may search your library for a Plains card, put it onto the battlefield tapped. Then, if any opponent controls more lands than you, repeat the process. Once, or rather, you search your library this way, then shuffle. So yeah, this could prove to be very annoying for opponents. I could see this card in Commander or Standard. Heck, I could even see people using this in Pioneer. But legit a great, and I think somewhat underrated card from Thunder Junction. So with that said, leave a comment below. Tell me your thoughts. What are some of your personal favorite cards from Outlaws of Thunder Junction? With that said, I'll see you all next time. Stay safe. See you again, same YouTube time, same YouTube channel.